Good morning and welcome to Paul T Reviews, and in this video I'm going to review the Ceyomur CY95 4K trail camera. I'm not getting paid to do this review, but I do get to keep the camera. I've been a professional photographer for over 40 years and a videographer since 2011, so I know quality pictures and videos when I see it. I really like the compact, robust form factor as well as the built-in solar panel. The solar panels work really well and will easily keep the trail camera fully charged if the sun shines. However, the camera charges even on overcast days. You can charge the camera indoors beforehand using the included USB-C cable, which you can plug into a socket or into the computer. The solar panel charges the internal battery. You can install 4 AA batteries as backup or to guarantee power if you have the camera out in the woods for weeks and months. Once the internal battery falls to 10%, the backup AA's will take over. Now, I've never actually had the internal battery get down to 10%. And there it is after 2 months. Yeah, it's looking okay. I'll just open it up. And let's see what the batteries are like. The battery is at 90% after a couple of months out in the woods. And let's just see how many clips it has recorded. 186. I have it set to 30 seconds. Well, we've got badges there, haven't we? Daytime and nighttime. Very exciting. So what I'll do is I'll have a closer look at the footage on here and I'll see whether I'm going to take the camera away or leave it for another month or two. The batteries don't even need charging up, the solar panel has kept it going, and after 2 months it's at 90%. I'm really quite surprised at that. Deep in the woods where you wouldn't expect much sunshine to be. The general body is a sturdy plastic, the clasps are secure, close easily and can be operated with gloves. In fact, these clasps are my favourite types of clasps on a trail camera. They're not fiddly at all. At the front is the 120-degree lens, 3 sensors and 2 sets of low glow LEDs. The microphone is the small hole at the base. At the back are the brackets for the tree strap with a wide opening at the top for a security cable. A padlock could be used to secure the camera closed to protect against someone wanting to steal the SD card. A further strengthening bar helps to secure the camera to a tree. The 1/4-inch 120 tripod socket sits at the back, making it easy to secure to any tripod. Now, when I first saw these sockets at the back of a trail camera, I wasn't too sure about how it would work with the tripod, but in actual fact it works really well. It's sturdier at the back than at the base. If you're trying to have the camera on a tripod at a lower level, it's actually easier when the socket is at the back. The Wi-Fi works really well and I use it on 2 occasions. When I place the camera in position, I want to frame the view exactly as I want it. And secondly, I can later check what videos have been recorded without disturbing the camera. Now note that the Wi-Fi is the camera's own Wi-Fi that is picked up by your smartphone through the app. It's not the internet, so you have to be within 10 meters of the camera. Turn on the camera. When prompted, select the CY95. Your phone's Bluetooth will then communicate with the camera's Bluetooth, which will then activate the camera's Wi-Fi. A prompt will ask you if you want to join the camera's Wi-Fi, and then a live image will show up on your phone, which you can use to accurately line up the camera to frame the view. You can also use your smartphone to take videos and pictures and review the videos and pictures already recorded. Plus, you can download the images to your phone. In fact, in the settings on the app, you can change any of the settings on the camera without opening it up. Use the exit icon to close off the Wi-Fi connection. The camera is easily secured to a tree using the strap. Let me show you how to use the buttons on the camera for editing your videos faster. If you want to review your pictures and videos on the camera, then slide it to setup. We can see here, as a matter of interest, we've got 70% battery. Here's the time and date. I've got stills set to 8 megapixels. Now, press top button once, and now we are into reviewing the videos. So let's start with the first one. There we are. This is me just putting out some food for the hedgehog. It's a 1 minute, that's a 60-second video. I recorded it at 4K, 30 frames per second. The battery power is at 70%. Now, if I want to play this, just press OK. And if you want to then stop it, you don't want to wait 60 seconds because I've gone out of view. Press the top again and it will stop it and bring it back to the beginning. Then the second one, the third one, now it's gone dark. There's the time and the date. It's a 60-second video, all of them are. We can review this. Actually, it's just raining there. I can see spots of rain and I can hear that through the audio. These cameras are absolutely fine in the rain. Okay, I watched enough of that video, so I'll stop it there, go to the next one, and start it. Oh, there's two hedgehogs there. So what I want to do now is I want to speed this up because I don't want it at normal. I don't want to wait 60 seconds to see if anything else happens. So on this right-hand button, if I hit it once, you'll see it's playing at 2 times. If I hit it again, it's 4 times. And if I hit it again, it's 8 times. So that's a quick way of scrolling through your videos. Let's go to the next one. So we'll do on. I'll scroll quickly. I'll do 4 times. This is 4 times speed. Now, if I hit the left-hand button, I can reduce it to 2 times speed, normal speed. And if I hit the left-hand button again, it'll be -2 times. So it's actually going backwards now. So I can go backwards 4 times. I can hit the right-hand button and start going forward again. There we are, times 8 times. So there's a fast way of getting through your videos, reviewing them. I'll just look at some more. There's a fox turned up. Oh, and here is the last video. Now this obviously is when I've taken the camera down. I didn't switch it off first, so it's actually recording. So what I want to do is delete this video on the camera. So the way to delete a video is, again, go to the top button here, hold it down, actually hold it down until delete comes up. You can delete or protect the video. If I decide, oh no, I don't want to delete this video, just press that again and you're back to where you were. I do want to delete this video, so hold it down, come to delete, press OK. I can delete the current video or I can delete everything on the memory card. Don't do that. Be careful when you're doing it this way, deleting on the memory card and in the camera before you've downloaded all your videos. I'm going to carefully delete the current. Do I want to erase it? Yes, I do. Just got to be careful you don't erase everything. And there we are. So I've now got 11 videos on there. And then when you've finished reviewing your videos, say you want to go back to settings, press the top button again, get rid of the settings, and this now here we can see we've got a live view here. And then just switch the camera off. Now a little extra tip here. These cameras are quite reliable, and they work well, but don't confuse them. Just like any computer, don't go from off to setup to on and back to setup all in a quick space of time. When you're doing anything, select it, let the camera, which is only a little computer, sort itself out. Then when it's stable, then move it to on. Now wait if you don't want it on, but just wait anyway till it's settled down, and then move it to wherever you want to move it. Computers and these cameras confuse themselves if you slide that slider up and down in rapid succession. The time-lapse feature has a minimum interval of 5 seconds. I would prefer a minimum of 1 second, but again, maybe the trail camera's processors can't keep up at a faster rate. In fact, 5 seconds as the minimum interval is about as fast as I've seen. I think trail cameras lend themselves to time-lapses as you can leave them out in all weathers. When shooting a time-lapse, make sure you have set the settings to photo only, 1 photo as the number to be taken, and then set the interval you want. Let's have a look at the settings now, and I'll show you the exact settings that I use. So if I just move the slider over to the center, we get to setup. This switches the camera on, and now we want to move over to the actual settings, so I'll press the top button once and the top button twice. The first setting is the mode. This is where you decide whether you want photos, videos, or photos and videos. If you choose photos and video, the camera will take a photo first, or the number of photos you've chosen, and then a video. PIR interval, 5 seconds is the minimum, and that's what I set it to. PIR sensitivity, I would set that to high. If you want to shoot a time lapse, loop recording. Now loop recording is where if the memory card is full, then it will overwrite the first files. Now I never want that, so I keep loop recording off. Infrared LED. There's various settings here. In my garden where the animals are fairly close, maybe 5 to 10 feet, I would set that to low, but you could experiment with medium and auto. Auto is actually full power. No shutting. This is where when the battery is low at night and it hasn't got the power to illuminate the LEDs, then you don't want the shutter to trigger. So there's no point in having black videos or pictures, so I leave that to no shutting. Monitoring period, you can actually set the camera to start and stop at various times, perhaps 9 o'clock at night till 9 in the morning. If you want the camera active at all times, the side PIR sensors might as well have that on. Frequency 50 or 60 Hertz. In Europe that would be 50 and in North America 60, although that wouldn't matter at all if there is no street lighting or no house lighting that's in the picture. And that brings us to the end of the first set, so we'll hit the right hand button and move over to stills. I set stills to 8 megapixels. You can actually go as low as 2 and as high as 48. But I think on this camera, 8 is the sweet spot. This is the number of photos that will be taken one after the other with about a second interval. And then the shutter speed, you can choose a 15th, 20th or 30th. Choose a 30th. It's the slowest you want really. We move over to the right and now we've got the video settings. You can set 4K right down to 360 pixels. The manufacturer, Ceyomur, have told me that this is a native 4K sensor, so I set to 4K. The P30 simply means it's 30 frames per second and you don't get a choice. I shoot all my videos at 30 frames per second. Video length, this is an interesting one. For me, the video length sweet spot is 60 seconds. Some people shoot 10 or 20 to save battery, but we've got a solar panel here. Battery power isn't generally a problem. What I don't want is for some nice action to be happening in front of the camera and then the camera to get to the end of the length of time I've set. 60 seconds seems about right for my purposes. But you might want shorter or longer. Record audio, might as well have that on. And let's move over to the right to the last settings. We've got languages here: English, French, German, Polish, Danish, Hungarian, Slovenian, Dutch, Spanish, Portuguese, Italian, Czech, Slovak, Chinese and Japanese. Default settings, so that's if you want to reset all these settings to the factory settings. Format, now I would recommend that when you've taken the photos and videos off the memory card, that you then format the memory card in the camera here. That's the best, safest and most reliable way of deleting your pictures. Set a date and time. AA battery power, that's if you add in the 4 AA batteries as backup power. It'll show you here the amount of power available. Time format, 12-hour or 24-hour clock. Date stamp, this is a banner at the bottom of the videos and stills that tells you the time and date the animals have triggered the camera. I find that quite useful. Beep sound, I like that off. I don't need a beep every time I hit a button. Camera name, so if you have a number of cameras, you can call them different names so you know which camera is which. You can have passwords on these cameras. The auto Wi-Fi off, auto power off and backlight, the various different minutes that you can have those set. And then the version at the end. And now and again, Ceyomur will issue firmware updates, and this is where you would update. So that brings us to the end of the setup of the settings. So now if you want to set the camera to activate, set it to on, then simply slide over to the on position. It gives a 5-second countdown, and then the camera is activated. So simply put it out to where you want it and it'll start recording. The pros and cons, what I like about this camera, and some of the disadvantages. Well, this integrated solar panel, which works perfectly, I wouldn't want to be without it, and so it's a #1 feature for me. The size and shape of this camera is just right. It feels robust, sturdy, and is fairly small. The daytime and nighttime image quality is really good. Daytime has accurate color balance. It uses a low ISO of 100. It's sharp, it's clear, beautiful pictures. At night, it uses the LEDs. They're low glow 840 nanometer LEDs, and they produce really good images at night. The wide angle lens, 120 degrees, means the focusing is from quite close to infinity. I would say about 3 or 4 feet to infinity. The sound is quite good and easily picks up the louder sounds such as birds singing. There is an included 32GB micro SD card, which is of a sufficient speed to record 4K. Camera is rated at IP66, so there's no problem in heavy rain or any winter weather for that matter, such as frost, snow, hail. Now, of course, as with all cameras, there are some disadvantages. These low glow LEDs means that it does show up at night, and foxes can be a little spooked. Some of the animals, such as badgers and hedgehogs, aren't bothered either way. But I would prefer the better nighttime image quality of this camera with its low glow LEDs over the no-glow cameras. Sometimes the LEDs create a central hotspot, so care needs to be taken when shooting at close range. You don't want something 1 or 2 feet away from the camera, as that will probably be overexposed. Time between recordings is 10 seconds. Now I would prefer a shorter interval. Once the time you've set is finished and the camera turns off, it has to wait 10 seconds before it can be triggered again. I would prefer it to be faster than that. In fact, the faster, the better. The trigger time is quite fast. I prefer it to be faster so an animal is caught coming into the frame rather than being already in the frame. So overall, this is a camera that I use a lot and is my first choice when photographing in the garden of animals at short range on a small tripod. However, it will be just as useful out in a field with larger animals such as deer. Simply turn your LED setting to auto when animals are going to be further away. I've used this camera in the woods, videoing badgers, and it's performed really well. All in all, I really like this camera. I hope you found my review of the Ceyomur CY95 helpful. If so, please give it a like, and I'll see you next time. Bye.